Welcome back, everyone, to another huge Dallas Cowboys update. And I've got to say, things are heating up fast in Arlington. The trade deadline might be over, but the Cowboys are still the talk of the league thanks to a storm of rumors and insider reports about potential blockbuster moves, contract talks, and future roster shifts. The latest buzz centers around wide receiver George Pickens and defensive monster Myles Garrett, two names that have the NFL world spinning with speculation. We're diving deep into what's really going on inside the star, what Cowboys insiders are saying, and how Jerry Jones might be plotting the next big move that could redefine this team's Super Bowl window. So buckle up, Cowboys Nation, because this one's loaded with inside info, behind-the-scenes drama, and the kind of smoke that usually leads to fire. Let's start with George Pickens, the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver who's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons lately. After a series of sideline frustrations, cryptic social media posts, and heated exchanges with teammates, Pickens has become the latest lightning rod for trade talk across the league. According to multiple reports, Pickens has been frustrated with his role in the Steelers' offense, feeling underused and overlooked despite his immense talent and explosive playmaking ability. This frustration, mixed with his young age and high ceiling, has caught the attention of front offices everywhere, and yes, that includes the Dallas Cowboys. Sources close to the Cowboys organization suggest that discussions about wide receiver depth and potential offensive reinforcements have led to internal evaluations of several targets, with Pickens being a name that's come up more than once. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Cowboys' passing game has looked inconsistent at times this season. While CeeDee Lamb has reasserted himself as the clear WR1 and Dak Prescott seems to have found better rhythm in recent weeks, there's still a feeling that the offense is one dynamic playmaker short of being elite. Jerry Jones has made no secret of his desire to chase a championship right now, and with the NFC looking wide open beyond a few powerhouses, there's mounting pressure to make a bold move that can push Dallas over the top. The idea of pairing George Pickens with Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Jake Ferguson has fans buzzing. Pickens' deep threat capability, physical presence, and raw emotion could give the Cowboys offense the firepower it's been missing since Amari Cooper's departure. The issue, however, is timing and money. Pickens is still on his rookie deal, but his long-term situation could get complicated. According to reports from sources in Pittsburgh, the Steelers have already started internal discussions about a possible contract extension down the road, though those talks are said to be moving slowly. Pickens reportedly wants a deal that reflects his value as one of the league's top emerging wideouts, and if the Steelers hesitate, a trade request could come sooner rather than later. That's where the Cowboys could swoop in. Jerry Jones has a history of taking advantage of tense situations on other teams, especially when a talented player is unhappy. Remember when he traded for Amari Cooper from the Raiders in 2018 after tension had boiled over? That deal turned out to be a game-changer. Some around the league are wondering if Jones is preparing to pull off something similar with Pickens if things in Pittsburgh continue to sour. Adding fuel to the fire are comments from NFL insiders suggesting that the Cowboys have quietly done their homework on Pickens. They've reportedly looked into what a potential deal would cost, what kind of locker room presence he would bring, and how he might fit into Mike McCarthy's evolving offense. Some analysts believe Pickens would thrive in Dallas, where Dak Prescott's trust-based passing system could unlock his full potential. Others warn that Pickens' emotional personality could clash with the Cowboys' carefully managed culture. Either way, it's clear that Dallas is at least intrigued. Whether they make a move depends on how Jerry and Executive Vice President Stephen Jones feel about investing future draft capital into yet another offensive weapon when the team also has defensive priorities. Speaking of defense, let's turn to the part of this story that's turning just as many heads, the whispers linking the Cowboys to none other than Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns. That's right, Myles Garrett, the all-pro defensive end and one of the most feared pass rushers in the NFL. While no official trade talks have been confirmed, Several league insiders have mentioned that Dallas has inquired about Garrett's situation, particularly in light of Cleveland's uncertain quarterback future and possible off-season cap constraints. Garrett is signed through 2026 on a massive deal, but there's been speculation that the Browns could consider reshuffling their roster if things don't pan out this season. And if that happens, Garrett would instantly become one of the most sought-after defensive players on the market, and Jerry Jones loves big names. Imagine a defense anchored by Micah Parsons on one side and Myles Garrett on the other. That's the kind of pairing that nightmares are made of for opposing quarterbacks. It would give Dallas a pass-rushing duo unmatched in the league, maybe even reminiscent of DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller during their peak years. Parsons has already spoken about how much he respects Garrett, calling him a freak of nature and one of the most dominant players he's ever studied. Parsons' comments recently about leadership and accountability after the Cowboys lost to the 49ers also showed he's hungry for more help and more dominance up front. Adding Garrett would not only supercharge the Cowboys' defense but also make Parsons' job easier by drawing attention away from him. It would instantly transform the Cowboys into a Super Bowl favorite if they could somehow make it work financially. Now, before fans get too excited, let's keep things realistic. A trade for Myles Garrett would be incredibly difficult to pull off mid-season, and even in the off-season, it would require major cap gymnastics. The Cowboys already have big contracts committed to keep players like Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Zach Martin, and Trayvon Diggs, and Micah Parsons is due for his own massive extension soon. To bring in someone like Garrett, Jerry Jones would likely have to part with multiple high draft picks and restructure several contracts. That said, don't underestimate Jerry when he smells opportunity. He's made bold moves before, from trading for Charles Haley in the 90s to drafting Micah Parsons despite concerns about fit. When he believes a move can win him a championship, he'll do it, and Garrett might just be one of those players worth the gamble. Interestingly, some analysts have drawn parallels between this situation and the Cowboys' past pursuit of big-name stars like Earl Thomas and Jamal Adams. Dallas has a long history of at least exploring these kinds of splash trades, even if they don't always happen. This time, though, the chatter feels different. The Cowboys are close, really close to being a complete team. Their defense is already elite, their offense is improving, and the NFC picture is murky enough that one or two major additions could tilt the balance of power. The front office knows it, and so does the locker room. Players like Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence have openly said they want to win now. The hunger is there, and that makes any rumor involving star-level talent worth paying attention to. On the other side of the ball, there's also a growing discussion about what to do with Dallas' own wide receiver depth chart. Michael Gallup's future with the team remains uncertain after an inconsistent season, and the younger receivers have yet to fully step up. Adding someone like Pickens could give the Cowboys a longer-term solution, while also shaking things up immediately. Plus, Pickens' youth and potential mean that even if it took time to integrate him fully, he'd be a core piece moving forward. The idea of pairing him with Lamb for years to come is tempting, especially if Dak continues to settle into McCarthy's play-calling system. Of course, fans are divided. Some say Jerry should go all in for offense, giving Dak everything he needs to succeed, while others argue that defense wins championships, and Garrett would be the ultimate piece for Dan Quinn's unit. Cowboys legend DeMarcus Ware even weighed in recently, saying that while the team's pass rush is strong, adding another elite edge rusher could make them historically good. That's high praise, and it speaks volumes about how close this defense is to reaching legendary status. The question is whether Jerry Jones is willing to make the kind of blockbuster move that shakes up the NFL landscape. And it's not just speculation driving this talk behind closed doors. Cowboys insiders have reportedly been more active than usual in checking on player availability around the league. This includes not just potential trades but also future free agents and players entering the final year of their contracts. The message from the front office seems clear: Dallas wants to stay aggressive. They know their Super Bowl window is open, but it won't stay that way forever. With an aging offensive line, big contracts looming, and pressure mounting from fans, this may be the season where the Cowboys decide to swing for the fences. If Jerry Jones has taught us anything over the years, it's that he loves the spotlight, and nothing grabs attention like a headline-grabbing trade or extension. Whether it's locking down a rising star like George Pickens or pulling off an impossible trade for Myles Garrett, the Cowboys owner knows how to keep his team in the center of the NFL conversation. And with this much smoke swirling around, it's fair to wonder if something big might actually be brewing behind the scenes. So, Cowboys Nation, keep your eyes on the horizon, because the next few weeks could define the rest of this season and maybe even the next few years. Will Dallas go after a disgruntled young receiver to supercharge the offense? Will they somehow land one of the most dominant defenders in football? Or will they stay patient, trusting that the pieces already in place are enough to finally bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Texas? No matter what happens, one thing's for sure: Jerry Jones isn't done making moves, and the Cowboys are never far from drama, ambition, and headline-grabbing ambition. That's all for now, but this story is far from over. Keep it locked right here for all your Dallas Cowboys news, trade updates, and insider reports. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead of the curve on everything happening at the Star, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We've got more breaking news, player updates, and behind-the-scenes Cowboys coverage coming your way soon.